And I just got to say your name, Reverend James H.
Ah, man.
Glover.
You
But
don't have
that's
to do
the
all
thing.
that, man.
In that story, he saw Jesus in
In that
the furnace.
fire.
With,
He's like,
yeah,
did we not throw 3 men in there?
yeah,
He said,
they
now
saw
I see
four.
four. They
Yeah,
loose, they walking around, they praising God, and the fourth one looks like the Son of God. When I think of faith, I think of something that my pastor says all the time, which is very powerful, which is faith is nothing less than for all I trust him. For all I trust him. In every situation and everything that I may be going through, for all I trust him. Hello, hello, hello. God
oh,
bless you all.
what's up, man?
Not much, man. Thank you all once again for being patient with me. I do apologize.
Oh, you good? Good. Hey, this is my first time really doing this. So
You doing great. You're doing great, man.
we're about to explore.
Yes, sir.
Uh, but yeah, thanks for joining. All the way from Kentucky, man. All the way from Kentucky. So
Yeah.
I'm in Arkansas, Kentucky. We first met from doing I did your podcast.
Yes,
Was
you did.
it a real talk series? I know it was for
Yep.
Valentine's Day.
Relationships. Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. Now you return the favor coming on to into this God on Man community and gonna tell about yourself and your story. So I titled it the story behind your gifts.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is and I just gotta say your name, Reverend James H.
Ah, man.
Glover.
You
But
don't have to
that's
do
the
all
thing.
that, man.
You got
You don't have to do all that,
Reverend.
man. Man. You don't have to do all that. It does. I promise you, I'm not one of those that you have to say that every time you talk to me. I promise you, I'm just a regular guy.
Awesome, awesome. But yeah, man. I gave you some questions and everything, but it's just us conversating. But
Yes,
the
sir.
main thing is this for this community is just like I want people to share, you know what I'm saying, share their stories and any testimonies like through your story, and it could be a seed for another person. You could be um help somebody get through whatever you've been through already or what you're going through. Um, but yeah, just tell us about yourself, man.
Okay. First off, once again, thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. A little bit about me. I'm 31 years old. I'm from a little town called Glasgow, Kentucky. Been in church all my life. Was saved at the age of 5. Started singing at the age of 5, and finally, about at the age of 17, I stopped running from my calling, which God had put onto my life, and I'll be honest, when God first called me to the ministry, I didn't want to accept it. I thought, man, I'm about to be a senior in high school. There's no way that God's about to use me. Um, I got too much I'm about to do. Like, God, you didn't meet me. You met my father, James Glover Jr. You're not looking for James
Mm,
Glover the third. You're looking for James Glover Jr.
yeah.
And fast forward, I finally accepted my calling. During that time, a little bit after that, I ended up going through a lot of deaths in my life where different people that was very influential in my life ended up passing away. About a month
Mm,
before I preached my initial sermon, my uncle passed away.
mm,
And I'm getting phone calls telling me if you want to reschedule your initial sermon, you can. Everybody will understand. No, we're going to go on and do what God has told me to do. I've been running from it long enough. Let's go on and be obedient. And fast forward after that, about a year or a year and a half into my ministry, my grandfather passed away, and
mm.
I ended up doing his eulogy. So that was the first funeral that I ever did, and it's it's been a lot of experiences that I've had in this 14 years of ministry. I've experienced a lot, and I'm just grateful for every opportunity that God has given me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. Yeah, you've been on a journey, man. And like
Oh
you said,
man,
he does those things you don't expect to happen in your life, but it's to get you to that next, to get you to the next level, to help move you.
exactly.
But he's like, God,
Exactly.
I ain't want you to do it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not wanting this. This isn't
Yeah,
what I wanted. I'm comfortable with where I'm at. I'm
yeah,
comfortable with singing in the choir, singing with the group. I'm comfortable with being Sunday school superintendent, youth director. I'm cool with doing that. I'm not
yeah,
trying to be no preacher. I'm cool
yeah,
with where I'm at.
yeah, yeah. So I know you were talking about. So you have like, so you have so many different like platforms. Like I've been looking up. You have like Rev JSG3 Ministries, and I guess is that the name of the church?
No, sir, no. Basically, where that came from was when the pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm.
I I had a lot of things that was already scheduled to happen with different revivals that I was scheduled to preach at, all of that. And I sat back and I'm like, God, what am I to do now? Like after a month of not being able to do anything, I'm like, God, what would you have me to do now?
Yeah.
He instructed me to start a prayer call, which is called PRL, which we still do to this day. We started it off on June, where there was maybe about 4 or 5 people that would get on there every Saturday morning. We'd give them prayer, a little music, and a short word.
Okay.
From June, it went to Facebook Live. From Facebook Live, from that came We'll Talk Monday, which you was a part of. From that came We'll Talk Monday podcast. From that came all these other platforms that God has allowed me to experience and to dive into because one thing that I realized was that my ministry that I do, don't get me wrong, I love being inside the 4 walls of the church. I
Yeah.
love it. But my ministry that God has called me to do is outside of the 4 walls. I'm touching more people outside of the 4 walls than I could ever imagine inside those little 4 walls of the church.
And have you heard, like they say the saying, like the church isn't just like organization, it's
Oh
or,
yeah,
the organism. Yeah. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
church should be in you anyway. So
yeah. And
walk, you live in the word. Should be living the word, making disciples, and yeah.
yeah, and that's what I ended up doing. The church that I attend now, which I've been a member of for about 6 or 7 years now, we are a part of a district that had a pull up and praise youth revival.
Mm.
And I am the dean over that district. So I was in charge of getting this revival together and getting everything going. And as I'm sitting there and as I'm watching these people pull up in the parking lot, sitting in their cars, praising God from their parking lot, people
Mm.
that you wouldn't normally see inside of a 4 walls of a church.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
It's not about those 4 walls. It's about this right here. It's about
Exactly.
reaching out and getting those that are lost. And that is what I try to do with everything that I do with Will Talk Monday, all the different shows that I do, all the
Mm.
different podcasts that I'm a part of. That is what I'm about, is reaching out to somebody that really wouldn't get an opportunity to know God. I'm
Awesome.
about trying to give them that opportunity to get to know Him.
Awesome. Awesome. And I know you have there's also like godly view,
Oh
so
yes,
helping
oh
out.
yeah. That one, the way that came apart about was I on that show. I'm not even really on that show. I'm just the
Yeah.
producer over that show. And the way that came about was I was sitting there thinking, and I knew that I knew a lot of great young ladies that have a lot of great things going on, but that's just not really getting that exposure that they
Yeah.
really needed. So what I did was I reached out to each one of these 6 young ladies. All 6 of them was eager, ready to
Wow.
go. They are now on season 2 of that show, and they come on every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and you can find them on the Godly View hashtag Soul Sisters Facebook page. They
Okay.
are amazing and they do great things. And they also, as of Saturday, now have a podcast as well. So
Okay. Yeah, that's
They are
awesome,
doing
man.
great things.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So you was like the catalyst, helping.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It's
sir.
awesome.
I just try to. What I try to do is, if I see greatness in somebody, I try to pull it out of them. I try
Yeah,
to, if I have the platform to where I can help them, I try to push them and give them that help that they need because somebody had to do that to me. So
exactly. And if you have a blessing that you just, say you holding on to, you see a blessing you could be for somebody, just go out there, and just do it. If it's,
give it to them.
it could be your time, it could be like what you did, just putting people in the right place. I mean, it
Yeah.
could be money, whatever. I mean, like if you have it, have the resources to help people. Yeah, just
Just
give
do
it.
it.
Just do it. Yeah.
And like when I tell you, because of this platform that these young ladies are on, a couple of them are now getting solo platforms with myself where we're going to do like little solo projects together because of the fact that they are building up so much momentum on that show that I'm like, you know what, it would be a shame just to keep them on this show and people just to get to hear from them once a week on that. Let's pull them away. They'll still be a part of the show, but let's pull them away and give them something else that they can be a part of too.
Awesome. Awesome.
So,
And then the next question I had was, is there any like favorite scripture or favorite story in the Bible that you have? Just want to
oh
ask you
yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely, definitely. There's so many that I love, but my favorite would be the three Hebrew boys
Mm,
that was thrown into that fiery furnace. And I've always loved that story, but during this pandemic, this story stuck out to me for another reason. And the reason why it stuck out was in the scripture text where the king is asking them to
mm,
bow down to this image. He's like, look, I'm gonna give y'all one more opportunity to bow down and do what I tell y'all to do.
mm,
And they tell the king, we're not gonna do it because we know that our God will deliver us. But here's the key thing that I love that they said. They said, but even if he doesn't, we
mm,
still refuse to bow down. In other
mm,
words, they're saying, look, because of the simple fact that we know that God can do it, we're not going to bow down to anything as you telling us to bow down to because we know what God is capable of doing. So even if he don't bring us out of his situation this time, we know where he is taking us. It's so much better than where you could ever take us.
yeah,
So
yeah. I know that. Yeah, I love that story too, man. That's a huge, it's
yeah,
like a trust. In God
yeah,
at that moment because he
exactly.
furnace.
Oh
They
yeah.
like if we die, we die. That's what God wanted for us.
Exactly. They're like, if we die, that was in God's plans.
Yeah,
And I
it's
love
deep.
that faith that they had right there.
I first heard that story. You should check this out in Crazy Faith. In
Hmm.
that city, Transformation Church.
Yeah,
Darius Daniels. I don't know if you've seen that. He
I've
tells
heard
that story.
of him.
It's Blazy Faith. It's called Blazy
Okay.
Faith. Yeah, you
Okay.
should check it out.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna have to look that out. Check that out.
and that's probably one of my favorite stories too. It's crazy that you
Yeah.
said that because I first heard that one. It was like back in January. You said my dad was going through everything. He's still going through everything right now, trying to restore himself. But listening to that, it was like, man,
It gave you that faith.
yeah, that just put me in the zone of like, yes, trust God. This is
Yeah,
for a reason. Jesus is with me because
exactly.
in that story, he saw Jesus
In
in
that
the furnace
fire.
with,
He's like,
yeah,
did we not throw three men in there?
yeah.
He said,
They
no,
saw
I
four,
see four. They
yeah,
loose, they walking around, they praising God. And the fourth one looks like the Son of God.
yeah, yeah. It's like Jesus always he's gonna be with you in those, those flames, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the next thing I was gonna ask, like, is there like a recent adversity or struggle you made it through, or you currently going through? And this, I'll just ask this just in case, like, I mean, just for the help, people that's gonna watch this, and
Right.
sow a seed for somebody else. Be like, hey, I went through this, I got through it, or I'm going through this right now, and this is what I'm doing to get
Yeah.
through it.
And I can definitely do that. I went From April of last year,
Mm,
about April of last year, I lost my job that I had.
mm.
I literally went a whole year without working.
Wow. Wow.
I applied for the job that I'm at now in February of last year. February of, yeah, last year.
Mm,
COVID hit. They stopped really taking applications.
mm.
Nothing was ever really done with it. I applied again in November of last year. Once again, have an interview, don't
Yeah.
really hear nothing. About a year to the day, almost, I get a phone call. Hey, this is Anthony, or we are trying to get in contact with you. I'm like, wait a minute. Why are they trying to get? Hold on. Call them back immediately. Hey, we just want to offer you the job that you
Wow.
applied for last year. Started it April of this year and been out there for about 90 days now. So to
Man.
God be the glory on that.
What were you doing through that, and saying that gap period? Saying not having no job. What was keeping you going?
Trusting God
Yeah.
and doing everything that I'm doing with Reverend JC3 Ministries, where I was pushing out podcasts, pushing out shows, doing different things, staying active, always staying doing something. During that time, God kept me busy.
Yeah.
And I can tell you all without a shadow of a doubt, during that time, I never went without.
Mm.
He
Yeah.
always made sure to supply me with what I was needing. Even when I didn't understand how I was going to get it, he
Mm-hmm.
always made sure I got exactly what I needed.
Yeah. Just had that faith. Had that strong faith.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
It was just like I'm putting my head down and just I'm gonna listen to listen to the Holy Spirit wherever
Yeah,
my purpose, my calling, wherever God want me to do. I'm just gonna
I'm doing it.
just doing it. He just I hear that. Yeah. But any other testimonies or prayers you want to put out there? Ask that.
Definitely that God can definitely not only heal you, but he can also put you on the right track of where you need to be. Let me be real. I know at firsthand because back in March, I caught COVID. I caught COVID back in March. I ended up having to shut everything down that I was doing to try to focus on getting better. While I was doing that time of focusing on getting better, I ended up rebranding a couple of the things that I was doing because I'm like, okay, they was good, but now I'm seeing where they can be better. So take that time to just listen to God and let God be the ultimate hearsay. Let him have the final say in everything that you do because he definitely knows better than what we know.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. That's the and that goes into the other question, like how to stay devoted. You pretty much said that there's this all you do is just
Yeah.
trust God, and you talk. I know you
Yeah.
talk about community too. So like having
Oh,
that
yeah.
community around you just to direct you to back on track because
Yeah.
we all not perfect. We're
Oh, no.
progressive.
Mm-mm.
We are
Oh,
progressive.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
We
And,
need that community.
you know, when I think of faith, I think of something that my pastor says all the time, which is very powerful, which is faith is nothing less than
Wow.
for all I trust him.
Mm.
For all I trust him. In every situation and everything that I may be going through, for all I trust him.
Mm.
That's all that faith is. It's just putting your total trust in him and realizing that he knows better than what we know. And that his plans, his thoughts, his ways are way better than our ways.
For all I trust him. I love that. I love that. That's awesome. But yeah, we'll go ahead. Gonna end it right here, man. And I'll end
All
it with
right. Thank
who.
you. Thank you. Bro.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Thank you. Thank you. This is definitely gonna be a blessing for people to listen to, just to see like, okay, how he got through these different things
Yeah.
for a little while, just and then having that community around you, and just you just listening to your purpose, your calling, just like, okay, I'm just gonna
Yes.
working, keep on sowing that seed for other people, and just
Yeah.
that's all.
Eventually, it'll happen.
Yeah, yeah. But how can people support you? Just I guess we could put your links out there and your
Oh,
different
definitely.
platforms. And
Definitely. You can support me on the Godly View, which I will tag that in the comments below. Afterwards, the Will Talk Monday Facebook show, you can support us on there. Also, you can support me on Clubhouse. We are on there as well with Will Talk Monday. We do the after show there, do like a little show right after the show, and different podcasts that we have out. And I will definitely put them in the comments below. That way, everybody can know how to support us.
drop those links. All
Yes,
right, man.
sir.
All right,
All
say
right.
bye.
Bye.
Say thank
See
you.
ya.
Ew.
No problem. Thank you all.
All
God
right, man.
bless.
God bless you.
Now you can tell Daddy.